Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video in the Water Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the 2012 Cleveland Browns rebuild here on Madden 24 on the PC. That is right. We are almost done with the rebuild. We've got 2 episodes left, including this one, and we have absolutely sold out to win a couple championships. The last 2 episodes, we have won Lombardi trophies. The 4 episodes previous to that, we had lost in the Super Bowl every single season, which is kind of heartbreaking. But then we finally broke down the barrier. We won the championship a couple episodes ago. Then we went back-to-back last episode. But unfortunately, if you watch the rest of last episode, my salary cap is actually coming back to bite me. And it might continue until the series is over. So the past couple episodes, not only have we won championships, but we have seen a lot of our young players, our very talented players that we drafted, that we grew to become the players that they are today. We saw them walk out the door because we simply did not have the money to pay them. Now, if you're not familiar, all the way back at the beginning of the series, I started restructuring contracts. First off, I started signing players to obscenely expensive contracts just because I wanted to. And then when we simulated a few seasons, those contracts started to add up. The more talented players we signed, money kept piling up until we had no cap room to re-sign anybody or to make any trades or anything like that. So I had to start doing restructuring of contracts, the contracts that we already signed. That was in turn good in the moment because it allowed us to keep the team together and to keep contending for Super Bowls, which we ended up only winning 2 out of 6, but hey, it is what it is. And now that's finally come back to bite me. Now I can't even restructure contracts because I think there's a set limit for how many times you can restructure one deal in the lifespan of that deal. So I've restructured Johnny Manziel too many times. I've restructured Aaron Donald, Joe Hayden, Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett. I've restructured all these guys. I'm assuming the limit that you can restructure on one deal in one cycle of the contract. So we can't do that anymore for any of our big money guys, and that has in turn not allowed me to free up the money to be able to sign new guys that need new contracts. So we had to watch guys like Reuben Foster, Fred Warner. Who else did we lose? We lost somebody else. We lost Travis Frederick last episode at center. We lost DK Metcalf. That was the big one. That one hurt. So we just couldn't sign those guys, and I have a feeling that it's going to continue on this episode and the next episode as well. So luckily, there's only one more episode after this, so I don't have to worry about that. But this one's going to hurt. Hopefully, we can go 3 for 3 in Super Bowls these past couple episodes and make it all worth it, I guess. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how we do in the season. We're certainly not as good as we were the past couple episodes, but I still think we're a championship level team. We'll just have to find out. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. Now let's get into this episode and just see the damage done by my previous actions. So this is the roster. We have a lot of a couple new faces on the offense. One being John Michael Schmitz Jr. at starting center. We have Michael Mayer at tight end because last year we had Albert O starting at tight end. That just wasn't going to fly, so we had to get a new tight end. It's Michael Mayer, but we still have the normal faces. We still have Johnny Manziel, Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown for right now. I don't know when A.J. Brown's contract is up, probably after this episode, so we're probably going to lose him. But we still have a couple guys. We did draft Rashee Rice last episode as well. And then on the defense, there are a bunch of new faces. On the linebacking core, Bryce Huff will start now. Drew Sanders will start. Derek Hall will start. So we're going to be interesting, that's for sure. Corners are looking slightly different. Defensive line is still solid, but who knows for how much longer. It's a weird team. It is most certainly a different team than what we started with. If we go and load in the 2024 NFL Draft, we know who's in it because it's the current draft that we have right now. So, and remember, this draft, yeah, has the player portraits that are not completely accurate. So we'll just have to look past that because there's nothing I can really do about it except for, I guess, find somebody else's draft class in the Discord, but I don't know if anybody else has a draft class. But for right now, we're going to have to ride it out with these player portraits. I know it kind of takes away from the immersion, but it's the final draft class we're going to be using, so I guess it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be in need of a quarterback, at least not right now, because we have our guy Manziel, and he should be locked up for the rest of the episode, or the rest of the series. Running back, I'll put a couple of these guys on the board, like Braylon Allen, Blake Corum, probably nobody else that I would even consider. Ooh, I did see Travion down there. We might go for Travion, even though I think he's coming back to the Buckeyes. I haven't seen that for sure, but, or maybe I guess if you guys have seen it when I'm recording this, I haven't seen it, but maybe by the time it goes up and it's happened. I don't know. Receivers, we're definitely going to need to look for some receivers, so I'll put Marvin, Keon Coleman, Roma Dunze, Malik Neighbors. I'll put all the boys on here. Emeka Ibuka, even though he is coming back, that's confirmed. He's coming back to Ohio State. Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell. I'll put all these guys on here because we're going to need some guys after we lose probably A.J. Brown after this episode. Roman Wilson, even though I don't like him because he went to Meat Chicken. Let's see. Anybody else? Probably not. Tight ends. We could use another one. I'll put Brock Bowers and Jatavion Sanders on there. Maybe we will go for them. I don't know. I'll put all the top tackles on there. I'll put the top guards on there. I'll even put Zach Zinter on there just because. And then centers. We'll put some of the top centers on there. We got to keep an eye out for everybody. Gotta keep an eye out for everybody. Right tackles, we'll put the top right tackles on there. Defensively, I don't really know where we would go here. Not 100% sure. We'll put some of the top guys on there, though. Jack Sawyer's coming back next year, so it doesn't matter for him. We'll put some of the top D tackles on the list. Outside linebackers, I guess we'll put some of these guys on here. These guys would probably be the only ones that we'd absolutely have to get because I feel like we're going to need linebacker more than anything. Chop Robinson, Dallas Turner. We'll put all the big boys on here. Steel Chambers for sure. Corners. Definitely going to have all the top corners on here. Denzel Burke's coming back too. Definitely got to have some of the top corners on there because corner is surprisingly thin. Free safeties. I'll put all the big ones on there. And then strong safeties, we'll put some of the top guys on there. Okay, so that's going to be our board. I really have no idea where we're going to go in the draft. I don't even know how we're going to do this season. I hope that we're in the Super Bowl this season, but you never really know. But I guess we'll simulate and find out. I will catch you guys at the end of the year with the result. We finished the end of the season. We obviously, maybe not obviously this year. We won the division. We won the conference. We won everything. We were the #1 seed, 14-3 on the year. Not as guaranteed as it once was in this series, but we're still pretty dominant. We still have a bunch of really talented players. And good news, we had some big contracts up for negotiations this year with Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, and Cam Curl. And I was able to restructure enough contracts to be able to re-sign all three of them. So we're not going to lose any of those guys. That was a big moment for me. I couldn't believe that we actually made it happen. So it was good. It was really, really good. Johnny Manziel, 3,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 picks, 73% completion percent. He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. He's played in 6 Super Bowls. He's only won 2, but he's played in 6 Super Bowls. He is, I don't think, an MVP. He's got Super Bowl MVPs. I don't think, did he ever win a league MVP? I guess we'll find out at the end of the series when we recap everything, but he's been unbelievable in his time here in Cleveland. I'm so happy that we drafted him. Derrick Henry, 1,600 yards, 18 touchdowns. Offensive Player of the Year? Maybe? Question mark? I don't know. We'll find out. 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns for Diggs. 810 and 8 touchdowns for A.J. Brown. Puka had a good year as a rookie. Michael Mayer had a good year as a rookie. Defensively, 125 tackles from Nick Bolton. No surprise there. 95 tackles for Budda Baker. 89 for Ramsey. 82 for Curl. 17 for Aaron Donald, tackles for loss. 13 for Garrett, 11 for Clowney. Sack leader was Donald, not a surprise either. 14 for him. 7 for Tart, 6 for Garrett, 3.5 for Clowney. 2 interceptions for a lot of people, actually. Bolton, Hufanga, Ramsey, and Javon Holland all had 2 picks, and then 1 for a few other people. So that is where we stand as far as how the season went, the regular season. Now it's time to take on the Buffalo Bills. I feel like we play the Bills every year in the divisional round. That's what it feels like. And we beat them 35-21, big win. Now we take on the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC title game. For the 7th year in a row, we are in the AFC Championship. Can we make it 7 straight Super Bowls? That's going to be pretty tough because we play the Ravens, but they are the 6th seed, so they're not favored. They shouldn't be favored. Oh, man, every top seed except for us lost. That's kind of crazy. And then the Eagles and Washington are over on the NFC side of things. So we should pretty much cakewalk to the Super Bowl again. But, I mean, it's Madden, so anything can happen. But I feel pretty confident we can get this W. Ravens and Browns, it's a rivalry game. But they're 10-7. We're 14-3. We should have this pretty much on lock. And we do. It was a little closer than I would have liked, 26-14. But we get it done. And I just saw the Eagles lost to the Washington football team. That's kind of crazy. An 11-6 Washington team makes it to the Super Bowl, so it won't be a rematch. Did we play the Eagles last year? I think we played the Eagles last year. So it won't be a rematch, but it will be the Browns in the Super Bowl for the 7th straight year. We have a chance to go into this series, into the series finale, as 3-time champs. Can we do it? Let's find out. We are going into this Super Bowl 2-time defending champs against the Washington football team who have RG3. We know this team pretty well. At least we know the foundation of this team because we've rebuilt this team in a rebuild before. But we are cooking them. It's 24-0. 31-0. Oh my God, we've destroyed the Washington football team. They didn't stand a single chance. A single solitary chance. We shut them out. Oh my God, we were the best team in football. Big W's. The Cleveland Browns are world champions again. The Cleveland Browns are world champions again. 3 straight times we got the championship. 3 out of 7 is not a great percentage, but it is when you consider we're 3 for 3. We are 3 in a row with the world titles. Johnny Manziel has basically cemented himself as the greatest quarterback of all time. He's played in 7 straight Super Bowls. He's won 3 in a row. He's reversed his career narrative. People were saying, "Oh, Johnny Manziel, he's so good, but he can't win the big one. He's like Dan Marino or Jim Kelly. He can't win the big one." But now he's flipped the script, and he has won 3 in a row. He heard the noise. He said, "I'm not going to watch a single solitary second of film, and I will win a championship." And he has done that 3 straight times. And this time, the defense shut down Washington the entire game for a shutout victory. The first shutout I think we've ever had in one of these rebuilds? I think. I might be wrong on that, but I don't know. All right, now we go to the offseason, the final official offseason of the rebuild, because next year we won't go past the Super Bowl. But Johnny Manziel wins another MVP of the Super Bowl. It is Joe Burrow winning MVP of the league and Offensive Player of the Year. Luke Kuechly wins Defensive Player of the Year. Tank Dell and Willie Anderson Jr. are your Offense and Defensive Players of the Year. So let's go back in time. Stephon Diggs won the first one, MVP. Then it was Johnny Manziel against the Eagles. So it would have been a rematch if the Eagles would have beaten Washington, but they couldn't do it. And we have gone 3 in a row. I love to see it. And hopefully, we don't lose any significant players this offseason. I signed back the significant ones, like I mentioned earlier. Stephon Diggs, Cam Curl, A.J. Brown. Those 3 guys were the most important guys to bring back. But guys that we're going to lose are Tyre Tart, Yannick Ngakoue, Bryce Huff, Chris Godwin, Jack Conklin, Albert O, Malik Jefferson, Kendrick Bourne, Kavontae Turpin, Damar Hamlin, Jacob Eason. We're going to lose all these guys, which are good depth pieces to the team, but we've only got 1 more year left, so it's not that big of a deal. The depth shouldn't hurt us that much. And we still should be solid enough in terms of our starters to be able to get the job done. So I will take a little peek at free agency just to see. Justin Tucker's the top free agent. Zach Martin, Kevin Zeitler, Kenny Galladay. There's some big names in here. A lot of high development traits. Some big names, but we can't be players in it. I'm not shocked by it. Is there any retirements? Any Cleveland Brown retirements that I should be aware of? I don't know if we have players old enough to retire. Not this season. Not this season. We will move to the mock draft number 5, all that kind of good stuff. And we will see who's going to be available for us. So now that we have pick 32, we're not going to be in play for any of the big-time receivers, but there could be a receiver, I guess, down the board that we could be in play for. I guess we have to take a look at our team and see what our biggest need would be. I mean, we are losing. We did lose Kendrick Bourne, so that's going to be hurtful for depth. But we have Puka, we have Rashee Rice, so we should be good for depth at receiver, so we shouldn't have to focus on that. But here we are. Let's before we take a look at anything else, let's look at the lineup and see what we have. So offensive line is going to be good enough to go the final season. Receiver, we have Puka and Rice as the backups. So I'm fine with that. 4 receivers is good enough. And then on defense, we need outside linebacker. Okay, so we need outside linebacker and maybe a corner. And depth on the defensive line. But that can come in like the late rounds, I guess. Okay, so we need outside linebacker, corner, and defensive line. That's what we need to focus on in the draft this year. Mock draft number 5 has us taking Braylon Allen. We're not going to take Braylon Allen with the first pick, or with our first pick. So this is where some of the big name guys are going to go. Let's see. Chop Robinson would probably be my favorite pick, but I don't see a way where we can trade up to get number 16. Maybe. Maybe we can do that. It could happen. Private workouts. Let's use our private workouts on... Let's use it on... I don't know. I don't know who we're going to be in play for, really. So we'll use it on Jack Sawyer. We'll use it on... Tommy Eichenberg, and then probably use the final one on Chop so we can figure out how good he actually is. Okay, so let's simulate to the actual draft, and then we'll see how good Chop Robinson is, and we probably will have to trade up to get him. I think the Falcons had the pick, so we'll talk to the Falcons. We can literally trade every single pick that we have to get the Falcons pick because we're not going to do any more drafts. This is the final draft. So let's go to mock draft number 5 and see who the how good he is. He's around 1 and 2 talent. We need outside linebacker help, so I'm going to trade up to get him. It's not a big deal. It's only one more season. He's not going to affect the team that much. But let's trade up to get him. So we can literally give up everything we have here. We can give up next year's first. We can give up... I traded every 2025 pick. That's right. I forgot that I traded every 2025 pick. We can go to the Falcons, ask for pick 16, and they say no to that. But I can give them literally everything that I own. Trade decline. Okay, I'm probably going to have to give up something a little bit more substantial, like a 4th this year. I don't really want to give up my first this year. I was hoping to have 2 first-round picks, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get away with that. So, how about this? Trade offer accepted. Yeah, I couldn't get away with having 2 first-round picks, but we do trade up to get Chop Robinson, which is nice. Number 1 pick in the draft is Caleb Williams to Cincinnati. Marvin Harrison Jr. headed to the Raiders. Latu goes to the Steelers. Brock Bowers to the Colts. Olu Fashanu to the Texans. Jared Verse to the Lions. Joe Alt goes to the Packers. Keon Coleman. Grant Barton. J.C. Latham. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Mason Smith. Drake May to Tampa. Braylon Allen to... I did it again, didn't I? I did it effing again. I wasn't paying attention. I was reading the names. There's some receivers on the board still, and Denzel Burke is still on the board here in the second round. I was reading names, and I did not pay attention to who was coming up, and I just drafted Braylon Allen in the first round. Oh, when we don't need a running back. My bad. My bad. I'm going to take Denzel Burke, I guess. Oh, he's a normal development player. Yeah, that's on me. That one is 100% on me. And I hate the fact that it's on me. Josh Newton's still available, so he must not be that good either. I'll take Steel Chambers since we do need to come away with an outside linebacker. Oh, why do I suck so much? Why am I so stupid? I'm such a dumb little boy. Oh, God, I'm dumb. I'm just the dumbest person ever to exist on planet Earth. Oh, I can't believe that I just did that. I just wasted a whole freaking top 20 pick because I wasn't paying attention. Ah! I hate myself. Absolutely hate myself. I mean, Braylon Allen's a good player, but we don't need him in the first round. I didn't need him at all. We have 2 running backs that I like. So we don't need him at all, but we got him. Yip-de-doo-dah. Marvin Harrison's the best player. How good was the freaking dude? Where's Chop at? Chop Robinson's a 74 overall. I hate my life. Yes, I do. I hate it. I hate myself. I don't want to be alive anymore. God, I'm dumb. I am just a dum-dum. I'm a big, dumb, dummy-dum. The dumbest boy in all the land. I mean, we're still a good team regardless. But now Steel Chambers has to start out there. Drew Sanders is going to start at middle linebacker. Yeah, this linebacking core is tragic. Javon Holland's gone up to superstar, which is nice. But this linebacking core is bad. It's a good thing we are in the final season because that linebacking core is not good whatsoever. But that is going to do it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watch. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.